Welcome to week number 3. So this week we went in and we decided to go in with the Scribe. I decided to take her to another level and just start really focusing in and thinking about who she is. And so what you see here is I put it on a base. I refined the horns a little bit, added in her full head of hair, and started figuring out the flow of the hair, where I want the strands to kind of fall. I also added in the shoulders a little bit. So, before it's just a head and neck, we did have the slight tilt and the look down, kind of giving it a little bit of an expression, but her shoulders were still squared up. And so, what I wanted to do is make her a little bit more kind of crushed or a little bit more brought in and just kind of sinking in, balling herself up. So, I wanted to bring those shoulders in and I thought that would give it a nice look, extend it a little bit and add it on a base. And then kind of keep playing with these words. We got weird, we have ugly, we have not ready. Those were my main words. And then I added in shame. A lot of people have shame against what they're doing, if they really should be going after these big dreams that they have, whether they should be just kind of dealing or settling for what they have in life. And so that's why I put that across. And then in the base, I just kind of went in and I found that using this wooden spoon tool, just kind of going in and messing with it kind of gives it a nice rough, just creative, just building up type of texture to the clay, to where I want to have this feeling to where she is still being built. She's still super malleable, soft, and um I'm not sure what the best way to kind of explain it, but she is easily tempted, easily gullible, So I still have this open ear. She's kind of has a slight tilt to her head to where she's still listening to all of these voices, her parents, friends, people around her, the world, society. Now that we're living in a new generation, you got the news and social media and TV and radio, all of this stuff just coming in. And instead of actually putting it into a filter, she just takes it in and holds on to it and takes it as truth, as real, as this is me. And that's why all these words start showing up on her skin, because she's not fighting back against them. She's not taking the time to actually think, is this true? Is this me? Is what they are saying about me, is that actually true to me? And next week what we're going to do is we're really going to bring the author to life. I did add on her base just to get her structured, added in a little bit of shoulders for her, but next week is when we really come in, because the author looks at all these words, everything that's still coming in just like it is for the Scribe, but she puts it through her own filter and says, does that make sense to me? Does that align with the beliefs that I have? Does that align with who I am today, but also who I want to become tomorrow? And so, it becomes, is this true to me? Instead of just, um, okay, I accept that. No, she's going to fight back against it. So next week, we really dive in and unleash the author. This week was focusing in on the Scribe. She came back and she was really honing in on taking everything from around her and taking it all in. So again, brief little overview. What I'm discovering is that the Scribe is in this ball, curled up and just listening, taking everything in, but just consuming everything, you know, just feeding on everything that is fed to her and just holding it all in. But then when we go into the author, she's exploding. She's exploding everything from the inside and shoving it out. So instead of everything coming in, pouring into her, And that's what creates her. She, the author, is creating from her own self, from inside, and just letting it all out. Everything might still be coming in, but she puts it through her own filter and then she lets it flow out. She doesn't worry. She worry about everybody else. She just lets her personality, her uniqueness, her special gifts just flow out of her as she becomes her own person. So that's what's on the plate for next week. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this one. Go ahead, go create your own characters, whether you want to do a portrait, whether you do a self portrait, whether you just want to do like a little emoji with some character. Create something fun, create something quick that you enjoy making, and see what comes out. And then what I want you to do is take a tool and start writing some of the words that you find come to you, some of the words you find yourself describing about yourself. And then take a look at those and be like, wow, is that true? Do I really see myself like that? Do I actually talk to myself like that? I would never talk about anybody else like that. But for some reason, I have no problem saying these things to myself. So hopefully you guys get something out of this. I want you to really see what those words are. And then next week, what we do is we flip them, we take a look, we filter those words, and we either one, create new meaning. So something like weird, as we are, like I said before, as you're a kid, might have been a little bit different as when you're an adult. Weird as a kid, if you're not careful, can mean you're different. You're in your own area. You're the kid that has to sit alone at the table. Whereas when you're an adult, a lot of people take that on and be like, I'm special, I'm unique, I'm one of a kind. So you can either flip the script or take something like ugly and flip it around and say, I'm beautiful. I don't fit into what you categorize as beauty in this day and age. And I am very happy and pleasant and love the skin that I'm in.